What's going on, you guys? This is Aaron from Departures Capital and welcome to the video. In this video, we're talking all about the potential for a market crash, the factors that could cause one, the factors that are supporting the current rally, along with 5 interesting stocks that we might want to take a look at in this environment. And we also have to say, crazy news. Obviously, you guys know what's affecting the markets. The president has contracted this global illness along with the first lady. So I don't take a political bias. I'm not going to say anything negative, but I will say as a human being, I don't wish harm on anyone. So I hope that he has a speedy recovery, gets through this, nothing too bad happens. Whether you like him or not, I don't wish harm on anyone. So that's all we're going to say there, and we're going to get straight into this video. Last but not least, I want to thank you guys for the likes and also the lack of dislikes. Yesterday's video got 0 dislikes. So thank you so much for all the love and support, guys. Let's get straight into it. Do support me, the channel, and all the videos, and let's do the same thing that we did yesterday and explode that like button. Just takes 1 second of your time, helps my video so very much. Along with if you are a new viewer to the channel, you want to stay up to date on the markets, you appreciate a steady flow of new and exciting companies and all the news when it comes to stocks, then don't forget to cash that subscribe button and ring the market bell for notifications. Let's get straight into this interesting video, guys. And of course, you know, this is a topic that is probably on our minds. The first thing I thought about when I saw that tweet, I saw the tweet from Trump or whatever, and the fact that he got it, I was like, oh my gosh, let's check the futures right away. So I checked the futures, and the futures were down like 1.5%, and I'm just like, you know, I was kind of expecting like a 3 to 4% drop, and we've actually recovered. The Dow is in the green right now, so holy smokes, this market is, like, in my opinion, so detached from reality. But once again, it's stimulus, and you know, Trump's not the only reason why the market's just gonna stay up there. Of course, there's tons of speculation that, you know, oh, the stock market's good because of Trump. Now, like I said, we're not gonna get into politics, but we're also gonna be talking about in this video, you know, what would happen if Trump lost power? Would the market stay up? A lot of people have said, oh my gosh, the market's gonna crash if he didn't get back in, but I've got some interesting articles and some interesting facts that we're going to talk about to see the other side. Anyways, let's get into this recap first, and then we will talk about, you know, what's going on in gold and silver, what could happen, you know, what might cause a market crash, what might not, and then those 5 stocks. And then we'll take a look at the chart. So Wall Street's main indexes fell on Friday after 2 straight sessions of gains as the news that the president has contracted this global illness stirred up political uncertainty just weeks before the election. 9 of the 11 major S&P sectors were down, but were off session lows as data showing a slowdown in U.S. job growth in September raised hopes that Washington would agree on new stimulus. So realistically, the market right now, I think, you know, what's driving the market, yes, we're seeing like, oh, okay, politics, this and that, but realistically, long-term stimulus is driving the markets. At least that's what I think. So feel free to offer those comments below if you think that, you know, stimulus is driving the markets, or if you think that, you know, it's all dependent on news and economic data. But I can't believe this, guys. We almost forgot comment of the day. What is going on here? So in this episode of comment of the day, you know, I want to take a few quick seconds just to get your opinion on something. You know, if we start to see a lot of volatility, how are you positioning yourselves? Let me know. Do you hold any cash right now? How much cash? Are you stocks, bonds, cash? Let's hear, you know, what's your portfolio? What are you guys thinking right now? I'll give you a couple seconds to answer that in the comments below. Do it. All right, guys, I'm back, and thank you for those comments, and we'll be answering those on Monday's episode. So let's get into comment of the day. So Baby Farm, nice to see you. I'd definitely call Reyna Silver one of my top silver picks. I'd say AG, RSLV, DSV. AG has become my silver Tesla. I love Keith, and I know you had him on the show too, brother. Yes, I did. And Keith is an awesome guy. If you want the biggest bull of all when it comes to silver, just take a look at Keith Neumeyer. He's got a lot of awesome interviews. We've also had him on here twice. And I'm trying to get him back on here, to be honest, guys. I would love to hear his opinion, you know, his updated opinion on the current, you know, situation going on in the markets. So, yeah. Mutant Riff. Leaves look like they are changing in the background. And yes, they are. And fall is officially here. It's now, you know, 10 degrees. Holy smokes, guys. It's getting cold already. Not ready for the snow just yet. But let me know if you guys are. Dave forgot. Discovery has great CEO. The company has amazing prospects. And yes, this was a really awesome find. I'm surprised I wasn't talking about it before. And this is one company that I do want to start buying. I noticed that they're pulling back today. We're going to be talking about that a little bit later on in this video. But very interesting company. Chad Mack. Easy content for you to do top 3 stocks monthly. Great idea. So I will have to implement that then. I think it's a really good idea. Might as well. What to say? Are you going to do any more videos on TAT and MindMed? Yes, I plan to, of course. I'm trying to get JR on. We have a tentative potential interview on Monday. We'll see if it works out for his schedule, but I'm really trying to get JR back on to give us an update, just as a lot of things have changed, especially with the stock price. It's essentially doubled. So, and then TAT, of course, has just been crazy. And last but not least, we're going to give one more comment before we dive into the rest of this video. Appreciate all your hard work. I'm an avid viewer of your channel. Glad you covered Discovery. I was buying last week before it went on sale. I will continue to nibble away. Brookfield, I mentioned in the comments when it was under 14 last week. Loving the Brookfield name. The third company I mentioned last week was Go Gold. You should go check them out. Very interesting. So thank you so much for all of your awesome comments. And Rusty Shackelford, I gotta say this last one. Eric Sprott is expecting a 20 to 30x return on Discovery. He is the largest shareholder. So at these prices, I still think that, you know, it's a pretty good deal. They've got over 1 billion ounces in the ground, and they will be doing tons of drilling over the next year or so. So exciting time as long as the precious metal market holds on. Anyways, guys, we started this off with a recap, and then I forgot comment of the day, but now we're back. And let's take a look at the NASDAQ. So the NASDAQ is still down 1.67%. So tech is no longer a safe haven today when we found out that news that the president is not feeling too good. So the S&P 500, on the other hand, isn't getting hit as bad, down just 0.42%. So initially we sold off harder, and now we're recovering. Now let's take a look and see what's going on for gold. And gold is actually holding on, catching that safe haven bid, down just 0.4%. Silver is down 0.9%, almost down 1%. But let's see what's moving gold today. We're going to take a look at what Kitco has to say, and then we're going to talk a little bit about, you know, whether I think the market's going to crash or not, the factors that I think would affect it, factors that I think would support it, and then let's talk about, you know, what could happen if either side gets into power. So gold sees little price reaction as Trump tests positive for this global illness. Gold and silver prices are modestly weaker. In early U.S. trading Friday, the metals have shown no significant reaction to the overnight news. The president and his wife have contracted it. So the just released U.S. jobs report saw metals not show a big price reaction either. So pretty much gold and silver just holding steady right now. I actually kind of expected gold to go up a bit, just because, you know, that's more so political uncertainty. Gold tends to shine. Now I also wanted to talk about another headline. So gold price really was manipulated, what JP Morgan's spoofing case means. So we've known that this has been a problem for a very long time, but it's crazy how these things happen, and we see the headlines for like a day or two, and then that's it. And then there's literally nothing else to be said about this. So JP Morgan, let's actually read what's going on in the news right now. So JP Morgan settled a $920 million fine with U.S. authorities on charges of precious metal price manipulation last week. So we're talking almost $1 billion. But in my opinion, if they've been manipulating the price of gold and silver, they probably have made a lot more than $920 million. This is significant because rumors said speculation about metals manipulation is confirmed in such a large profile case for the first time, said Will Ryan, CEO of Granite Shares. Throughout my career, there have always been these kind of mutterings of manipulation of the gold market. A lot of people that were talking about that were really written off as fringe or conspiracy theorists, extreme views, and those people have been right. So this is crazy, guys. I wonder what the price of gold would actually have been if it wasn't manipulated so much, along with silver too. Gold price holds fast above 1900 following U.S. employment and non-farm payrolls. So Friday, the Bureau of Labor said 661,000 jobs were created. The data significantly missed expectations of around 900,000 jobs created. So the job market weaker and gold holding on. Let's just give you guys a quick little update as of 9:41 p.m. So the president was experiencing mild symptoms after testing positive for this global illness. The White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows confirmed reporters Friday morning. The news came hours after the president said this on Twitter. NBC News earlier reported that Trump spoke to Meadows Friday morning and is in good spirits. So we'll see. That's all I got to say, guys. Alrighty, now let's talk about this potential market crash that we've talked about 1,000 times before and it never happens. But let's talk about it again because now something more serious is taking place and it's a really tough one. And I think that this scenario is much different than before because there's a little bit more uncertainty, and I'm actually surprised that the markets aren't really selling off as much as I thought they would. First off, the reaction from the market now, it's almost like they think that the president is going to be fine. But I do believe, or at least I think, that if his situation or condition was to get worse, people were really concerned about his health, then that's just a lot of political uncertainty because the market doesn't like unknowns. So that's the first thing that I wanted to talk about. Whether you want Trump to win or you want Biden to win, we're not talking about politics, but the market cares because they've already priced in pretty much both scenarios in my opinion, but they haven't priced in the scenario, at least in my opinion, of something really bad happening, like the president not making it. I really think that over the next 2 weeks, the condition of the president is really going to influence the markets, which is crazy because this is right before the election. And then there's more volatility surrounding that as we get closer, as news comes out about, the numbers when it comes to the polls and all that. So this is going to be a crazy month. Who knows, guys? 2020 has been an absolutely crazy year, but I feel like the next month is just going to be madness. So brace yourself for impact when it comes to the market. And who knows what really happens, but I wanted to weigh the different scenarios. So if we saw like a catastrophic event where something really bad or the president was to pass away, I feel like we would get some short-term volatility. How much is the market going to drop? I don't even know, but I feel like the market would drop. Then on the other hand, if we don't hear too many negative headlines, it gets better. They might have more faith in the recovery, but the next 2 weeks are going to be pretty crucial in my opinion. And like I said, I really think that this depends on, news when it comes to how he's doing. So if we get over that hurdle, then we get back towards elections. So now let's go into CNBC and talk Trader Talk because I want to talk about this headline. So this is not my opinion, but a lot of speculation has been put around, if Biden was to win, then it might not be as good for the stock market. So let's see what they have to say about this and weigh the pros and cons of that. So a Democratic sweep may not be so bad for stocks if it leads to a bigger stimulus, some traders say. The trading community is actively debating the effect of more fiscal stimulus on the economy and on the markets, but they sometimes seem to be talking about two different types of stimulus. There is one that would come from negotiations currently underway between House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin. But there's another stimulus that is being debated, the stimulus that could come if Democrats sweep both the presidency and the U.S. Senate. The second type of stimulus has been largely dismissed by the trading community, but now that the election is near and polls show Biden with a small lead, it is now a subject of some debate and is part of the trading stew in the markets. So, long story short, regardless of who's in power, we know what effect stimulus has on the markets. Anyway, guys, this is a little bit more political than I wanted to get into, but we can't ignore the fact that politics is going to play a huge role in the markets over the next month. It is pretty much, the number one thing that is going to affect the markets, and we can't just ignore it. Like I said, I'm not really into politics for all of the negativity that it causes, especially having a YouTube channel, and a lot of people have different opinions, which you're totally entitled to. So I don't want to talk politics, but we do have to talk about what could happen and how to position ourselves. So that's why I'm talking about this, if you're wondering. And let's see if you guys can manage to continue to hit that like button for this video. I would appreciate that. So let's get into these 5 stocks, the charts, and then that will be it for the video. So the first company, of course, I wanted to reiterate and say this is a really interesting time for this sector, the psychedelic sector. It's a growth sector, and MindMed has a really interesting pipeline of clinical trials. They're focusing on treating mental health issues. I think mental health is going to be a serious issue over the next couple of years, especially this whole global illness has just compounded things. And MindMed over the last little while has been doing a bit of consolidating above 80 cents. Had a really nice close yesterday, which surprised me. Sold off today, and we're down 7.8%, but we're still over 80 cents. Interesting one to take a look at. Now let's take a look at a gold stock. And this remains one of my favorite gold stocks, for the simple fact that it has pulled back quite substantially. They're getting into drilling, and they're doing that SpinCo. So Fosterville remains on the top of my watch list as one stock to watch, and it's currently trying to find some support right around $3. So selling off from 5, currently trading for 3. A lot of these gold and silver stocks right now are looking pretty attractive. Obviously, Fosterville is not the only one, but it is one that I know a little bit more about. I kind of like, and I do feel like this might be an interesting one to take a look at. Once again, guys, this video, never financial advice. Don't buy or sell the stocks that I talk about. This is just for information and educational purposes only. Now, let's take a look at Discovery Metals, because we talked about this company yesterday, and very interesting. Tons of exposure to the silver exploration sector. If you're a big bull on silver, Eric Sprott is their largest shareholder at over 25%. So that's another thing I really love about this company. And they've pulled back. They've pulled back from almost $3 down to $1.74 currently, down 6.45%. So I almost 100% will be taking a position in this company, and I'm really interested to see how it performs. So I need more exposure to the silver exploration sector. I've always been a long-term bull and a big shareholder, not big shareholder, but my biggest position is Fortuna Silver Mines. So that's performed really great, but I'm looking for more exposure to the exploration stage sector in silver, like I said. So Discovery Metals, that's my pick for silver. And of course, let's take a look at 2 dividend stocks. The first one being Brookfield Infrastructure Partners. You guys know I love the utility sector. Brookfield Infrastructure Partners hasn't fully recovered, but they've got a really diversified business when it comes to utilities, telecommunications networks. So I really think that this is an essential company. It's a big company. It says 2.62 billion on the Canadian side, but that is absolutely wrong. It's more like 20 billion on the American side. Is traded on the NYSE and does yield over 4% still. So really nice company for dividends. That's why I like it. And this is one stock that I'll continue to hold. And now we got to talk about Brookfield Property Partners, because although this is a lot more risky, they have office and retail real estate. The stock has been doing really great over the last week. Gone from $15 to over 17. And I'm waiting to see if this thing can, in fact, make fresh highs. It did attempt to get back to $20 and back there, and I believe it was back there in June. It got as high as $18.50. But can we continue to push higher? It's hard to say, guys, but so far, guys, Brookfield's looking pretty good, and this is one stock on my watch list. So those are my 5 stocks. I didn't go in depth, but I just wanted to talk to you guys about the 5 companies that I'm kind of looking at today. Now let's get into all the charts, and that will be it for the video. So in terms of the MJ sector, we're seeing fresh 52-week lows for ACB. Oh boy, Sundial Growers, Harvest One and MedMen, 3 biggest losers. 3 biggest gainers, Corus Beverages, Village Farms, and Cron. So we're not going to get into the MJ stocks too much. Let's take a look at gold and silver, and it is an overall red day for the sector. We're seeing K92 Endeavor and Nova Gold. 3 biggest losers. We will be adding Discovery Metals to that basket of stocks that we watch, and that is DSV. So let's do it. Perfect. Make sure to save that. Perfect. All right, guys. So what is the next sector? We're looking at dividend stocks. And who's leading the way yet again? Brookfield Property Partners in the green, followed by Canadian Utilities and Northwest Healthcare Properties. Good day for the dividend sector. A little more defensive. Now let's take a look at tech stocks. So in terms of tech stocks, we are seeing AEY, Virgin Galactic, and Rockwell Medical. 3 biggest gainers, although Rockwell Medical is in the red by 1 cent. And then finally, our broader 2020 watch list. Welltower, Brookfield, and Manulife, 3 biggest gainers, biggest losers. Tesla, Else Nutrition, and Beta Pro, and HOU, Beta Pro Crude. So that's it for the video, guys. I hope you have a fantastic weekend, and it's Friday, so I'm out of here. Always remember, Departures Capital is for information, education, and entertainment purposes only. Don't buy or sell a stock because you heard it on here. Buy or sell a stock because you've done your research, you've done your thorough due diligence, and you're making your own personal investment decisions for yourself. This video is not financial advice. We'll see you guys in our next video.